I've said it once, but I'll say it again. Just because makeup is expensive does not mean it's good. Sometimes the affordable products are just as good, if not better, than all those luxury products out there. This video has been very popularly requested, a quick and easy, natural looking everyday makeup tutorial using only affordable products. When I'm doing this look for every day, it usually takes me between 10 and 15 minutes max, and it honestly looks just as good as when I wear a full face of luxury products, so I'm very excited to dive into this. But before we get into it, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. All right, let's get into the tutorial. I'm starting off with skin, and for today's look, I want a very natural skin-like finish. I find it really difficult to find good base products from the drugstore, but I've tried so many things and I've landed on these ones, and I think they give just the prettiest skin finish. For my base, I'm going in with the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Skin Tint in the shade 110. And this is definitely by far the most expensive thing on the list today. This is $17.99. But I've had this for a long time and I've hardly made a dent in it. This will last you so long. A little goes a long way. So I'm just gonna put a couple dots of this on my face and then blend that out into my skin using a brush. This foundation is really buildable and it gives a dewy finish. So I like to start with less, and then if I want a little more, I can add a little more for a little extra coverage. It never looks cakey on me, which is something I adore about this product. And it gives a really nice dewy finish to the skin. Really, my only complaint about it is the applicator. It can get a little messy, but other than that, this feels like a high-end skin tint. So that's what that skin tint is looking like. As you can see, there are some little imperfections showing through. I do have a couple little blemishes on my skin, but I actually like that my natural skin shows through the skin tint. When I'm going for an everyday look, I don't usually reach for something super full coverage. Plus, I'm gonna be talking about an amazing concealer that covers up all the little blemishes for you. Now I'm gonna be adding some dimension back to my face using this NYX Wonder Stick dual-ended face shaping stick. This is in the shade Fair. And I'm using the contour side just to add some shadows into those areas that I want to look a little bit more defined, like my cheekbones, a little bit on the sides of my nose, jawline, and a little bit on my forehead as well. What I love about this product is how easy it is to apply. When I'm in a rush, I don't like to fuss with my contour too much, so I like one that is blendable, easy to put down, and this is just that. I also really like the color of this contour. I find with drugstore contour and bronzer products, the color is never quite right, but this one is not too warm and it's not too cool either. So I'm kind of a blush connoisseur and I cannot believe this blush is $7. This is the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Peach Perfect. And for only $7, this is so good. A little goes a long way, so really be careful to apply this sparingly at first. And then just take your time blending this out because it is quite pigmented. You do want to make sure you don't leave any part of this unblended. I did go through a period of time where I exclusively wore this blush. I could not put it down. It looks so pretty on the lips too if you want to do a monochromatic look. For my fair skin girls, this color is really good. This blush, although it's pigmented, looks so natural. I mean, the shade does really help. It's a very beautiful, just muted, natural looking shade. Even though it has a ton of pigment, you can still apply it in a way that looks natural, and it is not hard to blend. You just have to be a little careful not to go overboard with the amount of product you applied. Obviously, the shade of this blush is a very neutral, natural looking shade, but if you wanted to build this up, you totally could. You could get more impact if you just apply more blush and just build on top of it. If there's one thing I recommend you buy from this video, it would have to be this. This is the Maybelline Super Stay Activewear Concealer, and this concealer is one of the best concealers I've ever tried, and it's drugstore. I love to apply this concealer underneath my eyes because it does not crease. It lasts all day. It's kind of freaky actually, but this is good on top of blemishes as well, or to highlight the centers of my face, as you can see me do here. I would say this is a solid medium coverage concealer, and you can definitely build it up. I like to just blend this out with a brush, and I really don't apply all that much because you don't need to. This is truly a beautiful concealer, and I always reach for this when I have events or any sort of long day where I need my concealer to be looking flawless all day long. This is it, not my luxury concealers. So that's it for the cream base products. I do just want to take a moment to set this down really well. So I'm going in with the NYX Dewy Finish Makeup Setting Spray. And this is a long wear setting spray, but it keeps the skin looking like skin, gives a really pretty dewy finish. I'm gonna spray a nice layer of that on my skin. This really just melts everything together. And I do just want to say, for a drugstore setting spray, this mister is actually not too bad. It feels very fine. For eyeshadow, I have two different palette options, and I did just want to talk about two separate options for you guys. You'll see why in just a second. This first option is the Milani Gilded Mini Palette, and this is all matte shadows. There are 6 shades in here, all neutral, beautiful formula. It's $10.99, I believe, and this honestly is all I personally need. I don't mind an all matte eyeshadow palette at all. But if you were looking for something with shimmers and mattes, this one is so good. This is the NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette. And this one does have a mix of mattes and shimmers, and it obviously has more than double the amount of shadows that the Milani one has. So this one is around the $20 mark. So it is double the cost, but you are getting double and more shade-wise. I think this one's a little bit more butterier and easy to blend, but these are both really great. So if you're more on a budget, you don't need as many shades, you're just a matte shadow girly, any of those reasons, this Milani one would be fine. If you like to have a little bit of variety, maybe the NYX one would be better for you, but it is a little bit more expensive. So whatever you prefer. You can't really go wrong. So I'm gonna start off with my transition shade. I like to use this one right here. This is like the perfect transition shade, and I'm going in with a Rephr 01 brush. I'm using windshield wiper motions to sweep this into my crease, just adding a little bit of definition to the eye area. For every day, I like to keep my makeup pretty simple and just like universally flattering. So I do always like to just give my crease a little bit of something. I'm also just sweeping that shade on my lower lash line as well, using the same brush just to keep it quick and easy. Now to brighten up the lid a little bit, I'm going in with this matte, like creamy off-white shade on a packing brush, and I'm just gonna press that onto the mobile lid. This is just gonna give the eyes a more awake appearance. I'm also just gonna take that slightly into the inner corner area. I love this palette because it has these 2 deep shades you can use for eyeliner. I think I'm gonna go with, this one's a little bit more plummy on top. This one's a bit more like espresso brown. I'm gonna go with this one here. And then using a small angled brush, I'm just gonna tap that along my lash line, creating a nice little baby wing. I love how easy using eyeshadow to do liner is, and it's so quick too. It's way quicker than doing like a liquid liner, for example. That eyeshadow is pigmented enough to appear like liner, but it just gives a slightly softer, slightly natural look, and I literally did that in like a minute. I'm gonna take whatever's left on that eyeshadow brush that I applied that bright shadow to my lid with, and I'm just gonna run that right along the liner I just did. It just kind of like sharpens everything up and makes it look really professional and complete. It's like a super easy little trick. So this next step is optional, but I do like to do it because it makes a really big difference in my opinion. I'm gonna go in with this Essence Stay and Play Gel Eyeliner. It's waterproof and long lasting, and I just like to take that in my upper tight line. This makes the liner look a little bit more dark. It also makes the lashes look a little bit longer. It just really completes the eye look, honestly. I'm using the black shade, but you can use the brown shade as well. I like that one too. All right, so time for mascara, and I really think this is the best mascara at the drugstore. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. I use this on my channel all the time. For me, I like my lashes to look long and separated, and I do not like clumps. So if that's what you're into, you're gonna love this mascara. It's not the most volumizing formula in the world, but I actually like that about it. Sometimes when a mascara is too volumizing, I feel like my lashes just look heavy and clumpy. So I would rather a formula like this that really makes my lashes look super long and fluttery. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit for this, but do you see what I mean about how long it makes my lashes look? They're not clumpy at all. It doesn't even really look like I'm wearing mascara. I don't know if that makes sense. It sounds like it would be a bad thing, but it's not. My lashes just look good. They look long, they're separated, not a single clump in sight. I really cannot say enough good things about this mascara. So now moving back to the rest of the face, I'm gonna apply some powder. I'm going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. I'm using the shade 05. And what I like about this one is it's good for under the eyes, but it's also good for all over the face. I'm gonna take a powder puff and just set underneath my eyes. And there is no creasing happening under my eyes. Usually there are like some fine lines that happen before I set my concealer, but this concealer is just that good. I feel like this powder is kind of a dupe for the Huda Beauty powder. I don't hear anyone else say that, but I do feel that way. It is super brightening for under the eyes. I'm really only going in with the tiniest amount, but still you can see there's a little bit of excess. I'm just gonna kind of let that bake on there for a minute. In the meantime, I'm gonna take a face detailer brush with just a little bit of that powder. I'm gonna powder around my mouth and my chin area. Anywhere I experience creasing or oil, I'm gonna put a little bit of powder there. And then I'm just gonna brush away that excess powder underneath my eyes. I feel like this just brings the makeup together. My face looks super flawless whenever I apply this powder, but I do feel like we lost a little bit of that blush, so I'm gonna layer on top with some powder blush. I've gotta say, this formula from ColourPop is unreal. These are their pressed powder blushes. My favorite shade is the shade Flamingo. It's this really bright, cool, vibrant pink, and it is so pretty. It's a Dior pink blush dupe, except it's even more pigmented. I also like the shade Swirled. It's a little bit less neon, and I think it's more so the vibe for today. Oh, that's tough because this color is so pretty, so special. I use it in my other videos, so maybe I'll link a tutorial where I use this blush on the screen. I'm gonna go into Swirled. I'm just picking that up on a rougher 04 brush and tapping that very lightly onto the apples of my cheeks. Actually, I'm gonna layer a little bit of this on top, just a little. It's just such a pretty blush. Now we're gonna move on to lips. I'm gonna give my lips a little bit of a wipe because I have this Ulla Henriksen lip mask on. It's their little Anine Bing collaboration. It's a strawberry scent. It's got some glitter in there. It's actually really pretty. And I love these lip treatments. They're so hydrating and I need it because my lips are dry right now. So for lip liner, this is my favorite drugstore lip liner at the moment. It's actually one of my favorite lip liners, period. This is the Maybelline Lifter Liner in the shade On It. This is the prettiest, cool, brown, like lip contour-y shade ever. I like to overline my lips with this, and this formula is a little bit different than your typical lip liner. They apply very creamy, but they set down really fast because they are so long wearing, so you do have to work a little bit quickly with these, but I don't mind because most lip liners rub off so quickly, and this one will like last you throughout a night of eating and drinking. I like to fill in my outer corners of my lips a little bit with this too. I'm pretty sure this lipstick has gone viral, but for a good reason. This is the Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick in the shade Bare It All. The perfect nude lipstick. I'm just saying. I like to apply this in the center of my lips. I feel like it's just the prettiest color ever, and it makes my lips look very pouty, and I just love this combo. So pretty. The thing about the drugstore is there is a lot of good lip products at the drugstore, but there is a lot to choose from. So to know which ones are good is really helpful. This Revlon lipstick, it's just so comfortable on the lips. They have a ton of really beautiful shades, but I also love that it's not super heavily scented. Some of the other lipsticks at the drugstore smell a little questionable. They smell kind of like old lady-ish. This one does not. I take this lipstick everywhere with me. And now you could leave your lip combo just like this, it looks gorgeous, but I'm gonna go on top with a little bit of lip gloss. This one is by ColourPop. This is their So Juicy Plumpy Glossy Lip Oil. I'm using the shade Hits Diff, and I really love this lip oil for a drugstore product, but the one thing I don't like is how it's so hard to like pull this out and then it like goops everywhere. My camera won't focus, but there is lip gloss all over the packaging now, so that's annoying, but I still use it because look at how pretty. So nice. Got a little bit of a minty vibe going on. It's got a very pleasant smell to it. It's like sweet mint. The name is self-explanatory because look, so juicy. And that is it for my super quick and easy, affordable, everyday makeup look. You guys, please leave your drugstore recommendations down in the comment section below so I can go pick them up. You guys literally influence me all the time, and I'm so snoopy. I read every single comment and respond to all of you. So comment down below. And if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.